Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy to open the workshop on integrability, holography, high-spin gravity, and strings that is associated with the Quark seminar. And first, let me give an opportunity to Valery Rubakov to say a few words as one of the main organizers of the Quark seminars, which is traditional international seminar in Russia, which one of the most active and most broadly represented usually, and this time it goes online. Okay, Valery.
Thank you. Let me greet everybody attending this workshop. As you know, International Seminar Quarks is biennial seminar, which is usually held in person in nice places in Russia, various cultural centers in Russian Federation. And it's pretty broad in scope. We always have, in particular, this sort of activity, this sort of sections and plenary talks on more formal aspects of quantum field theory and related topics. Last year was the official year of the seminar. So this event today and later on is sort of postponed course 2020. Because of the pandemic, we had to cancel it. Last year, we usually have these seminars every 2 years on even years, but we had to cancel it last year, not quite understanding what was going on, and we decided to hold this seminar in the form of online workshops this year. Next year, hopefully, the pandemic situation will be better, and we really think that we will be able to continue tradition of seminars in person. And you're all invited to the next seminar, Course 2022, which will be held in a very nice place near old Russian city of Perslov-Zalesky. We'll have many opportunities to go sightseeing. We have opportunities to talk and discuss physics. So I hope this will be a very lively event after all these pandemic years. So everybody is invited, and I wish all of you very nice, very fruitful workshop, albeit online. But I hope that it will be possible still to exchange views and discuss physics. So thank you very much, and my best regards and greetings on occasion of this workshop.
Okay, thank you very much, Valery. In the remaining 10 minutes before the sessions actually start, I want to give you some information about organization details and a little bit tell you about Sakharov, because this year we just celebrated 100 years after he was born, just on May 21. So, okay, so Valery told you a few words about quarks in general. So these are quarks 2020, despite we are now in 21. And as you know, it was decided to have some online workshops, and our workshop on integrability, holography, high-spin gravity, and strings is one of a few that will take place later on in June. So this one is dedicated to Sakharov, and it is organized by Institute of Nuclear Research, represented by Valery and many others from among organizers, and also Lebedev Physical Institute, and this session is organized by Ruslan Mesaev and myself specifically. So all the week will be occupied by this seminar. We hope very much it will work well. So let me tell you a little bit about details. So the schedule is organized in such a way that all talks are 30 minutes talk, plus 5 minutes allocated for questions if there are. And also we assume that we may need some break between the talks because of potential problems with switching from one speaker to another. So we keep these 5 minutes in between talks, and we assume that 5 is greater than 0. So we want to start the next talk precisely at the time. I mean, so be careful with, I'm talking to speakers, be careful to keep on schedule. But because the schedule is rather tough, we assume that we may continue some discussions, if necessary, after the last talk of every session ends. We assume that for about maybe 30 minutes, we can discuss and can ask questions to all speakers of that session. That will probably help us to have more useful and fruitful discussions and understanding of the talks. So today, there will be additional talks. So there will be additional talk at 4:30 p.m. by Boris Altshuler, who will be telling you a little bit about Sakharov. So originally it was assumed that I will help him and will tell you a little bit as well, but it so happened that I will be busy precisely that time. So I decided to tell you a little bit about Sakharov, what I can tell just right away this morning, because most probably I will be forced to skip this memorial session for some reason. So also let me add that I got suggestion from JET Journal yesterday that they will be happy to consider to publish papers that underline the talks of this workshop. And here are the data of this journal, so you can write emails, you can contact, see the webpage. The point is that this is not proceedings. We will not be going to have proceedings as we announced. So all talks will be available at YouTube, and we don't think that proceedings are necessary in that case. But if someone wants to publish paper in that is associated with the talk given at this workshop, JET will be happy to consider. And let me emphasize that they accept papers in English and just having some short annotation or abstract in Russian for those who is willing to write in English, if any. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Sakharov. So I happen to knew him, and well, it is most, of course, is known most of all as one of the creators of nuclear weapons of the Soviet Union. But also he had a number of scientific achievements, and there are a few that are normally related and some that I learned very recently about. So that will be probably in more details explained by Boris Altshuler tonight. Let me just mention that Sakharov was the first who realized the necessary conditions for baryon asymmetry in universe. Another achievement, also cosmological, is Sakharov oscillations. And the third one goes under the name induced gravity. Actually, if we look carefully what he suggested to create gravity from quantum corrections to spin 1. It has much in spirit with what is considered in this workshop and these days in theoretical physics, related to even holography or some other versions where gravity is considered as double spin 1 theory, things like those. Well, another thing that I learned just recently is that the idea of tokamak. Tokamak is a device for nuclear fusion. Actually also came due to Sakharov together with Igor Tam. So you see that he had a lot of achievements apart from directly those who he was busy with in the military aspects. Okay, so well, naively, it may look like that it has little to do with the main subjects of this workshop, but in fact, it's not that bad. I mean, let me tell you a little bit the story. I have about 5 minutes, I think. Sakharov was very much interested in fundamental aspects of fundamental physics, and I had a chance to see this because I knew him, and actually, let me tell you a little bit in a few words a story. So, you know that after in 1980, Sakharov was exiled to Gorky, that the city in Russia that now has his original name, its original name, Nizhny Novgorod. So what happened next is that he's still living there in Gorky. He kept his position at Lebedev, and after some point, some scientists from Lebedev Institute were sent there on the regular basis, like once a month, for scientific contacts to keep him, I mean, aware of the modern trends and modern recent results in physics. So many of us from theory department of Lebedev participated and went there. And I happened also to be there 3 times, actually. And what I realized before this workshop started is that rather remarkably, I mean, the first topic I was discussing with Sakharov was precisely higher spins. I guess that travel was in 1981 in the fall, and what we were expected was that we had to discuss some recent achievements, and of course, we were better of all aware of our own achievements. So the natural point to start with was to discuss some recent works. And that's particularly, I remember I was talking to, trying to explain to Sakharov the paper on higher spin gauge theory and higher spin gauge fields, which eventually led to what is these days called frame-like formulation of higher spin fields. I can say that Sakharov was very much interested and excited about this. He was listening for a while, and after some point he switched to some other subject, and this other subject was actually supersymmetry. So he was very excited those days, that was early 80s, by the cancellation of divergences in supersymmetric models. And this is what we discussed next. And that actually is an illustration that he was interested in all physics and even more. So what I wanted to say is that this workshop is not that far from original and real interests of Sakharov, as one could see. So it is should naturally be related to his name. And maybe I should stop now because time is flowing fast. Let me just mention that probably that travel, actually Sakharov surprised me a lot because he was not very young. I mean, now we celebrate his 100 years, so he was 60. He told us that if he would have a little bit more time, he would learn biology. That is most interesting and the most exciting field in science. And unfortunately, he has not enough time, but he had a great book on biology that he showed that he was reading. All right, so I think that that's all by now. And if there are any questions, please ask me, organizations, any others. I will try to ask, and then we'll start our session. No questions? Good.